Yo, what is going on YouTube? It's your boy Dan, aka aDrive. But guys, week 1 of the aDrive Army Battle League, which is a subscriber league that I run in my Discord server, or that my mods run, I should say. They actually take care of everything for me. And throughout this series, I'm gonna be battling against the aDrive subscribers in a Pokemon Showdown Draft League format, much similar to what you've seen from the Vikavolt and the Rampardos on the channel. However, this is all done on Pokemon Showdown, so it's a little bit more casual. It is against my subscribers. Some of them are great battlers, some of them are kind of just getting started. So there's a little bit, you know, there's a variance in playability. Our division is actually pretty tough, though. I've got some pretty tough opponents to come up against. And if you follow me on Twitter, you would have seen that I've been tweeting out my picks. I'm really happy about my team. I'm not going to do a full draft breakdown. I'll kind of recap the team here in this video. And this is something very unique to these videos that I think you guys are going to like, is I actually build my team live on the video, so you guys get to watch me build the team. I actually set myself roughly a 20-minute timer to build the team. Normally I'll spend hours, you know, nitpicking teams and perfecting EV spreads and things like that and doing practice games, but for this league it is very casual. It is meant to teach you guys how I build very fast and also kind of get a little bit more insight in a draft league from a more casual perspective. So kind of pretty cool stuff, and hopefully you guys enjoy the series. Be sure to hit that like button down below and subscribe if you guys are new. For those who didn't tune into the last season of the aDrive Army Battle League, I actually won the championship with a really cool team featuring Zygarde, 50%, and Mega Pidgeot. Mega Pidgeot ended up putting in a ton of work, and it was a lot of fun. So yeah, without further ado, let's quickly talk about our team. I did draft this team. I'm very happy with it. I think it's incredible. There are some flaws to it, but I think it's very good. I picked an old friend in Victini, of course. I've got the Z-move Greninja, which can only be Tora and Greninja. No Battle Bond, no Protein. Still a very good Pokemon, though. Performs a very good offensive core with Victini. Amoonguss, great kind of defensive pivot with Spore. Fortress, very good physically defensive wall. Smeargle, which is cool. I felt like Smeargle was a really good value pick in tier 4 with sticky webs and other hazards. Seismitoad, of course, a very bulky water type, ground type, could set up rocks. Spiritomb is a Z-move user. We get one Z-move user in tier 5, which I picked Spiritomb because it does get Z Memento. I've got Mega Diancie, which is an incredibly powerful Mega that could just wreck things with Moonblast. We got Latias, which of course is a very good Dragon and Psychic type Pokemon with Levitate. Nice 110 speed. My team is very fast as well. Braviary, good Choice Scarf Defiant user, so if I do want to set those hazards with Smeargle, I have the ability to kind of, you know, discourage Defog and deter Rapid Spin with Spiritomb. I've got Xurkitree, which is another Z Crystal user. I can use Z Hypnosis, I can use Z Electric Terrain, I can use Z Rain Dance, I could set that up and do some serious damage there. And then we've got a Alolan Exeggutor, which is a Grass and Dragon type that I just have grown fond to like as a secondary grass option. I want to mention one of the things I focus on with building this team is having fast, powerful Pokemon, and also having a couple 4x weaknesses that are kind of combatant of each other. I've got, you know, Fortress with Fire, Seismitoad with Grass, Diancie with Steel, Exeggutor with Ice. 4x weaknesses that are all different to really make team building kind of a headache for my opponent. So nevertheless, you can see my opponent's team this week. He's got the Zygarde 50%, big threat. Stack Attack, of course, massive threat with Trick Room. Silvally, which is a Z Crystal user, maybe he runs Z Parting Shot. Salazzle, just kind of annoying, Poison Fire, hits pretty hard. Hitmontop, Rapid Spin, has some priority. Does get Bullet Punch. Aromatisse, of course, good old Aromatisse. Very bulky Fairy. Tauros, just a tier 5 Z user. Mega Sableye, always annoying because it can set up Calm Minds and win. Same with Reuniclus, actually. Thundurus, of course, it's Thundurus incarnate form, so 111 base speed with Prankster. Trevenant, very nice bulky kind of grass and ghost type. And then Gliscod, which is a bug water type that can set hazards and gets priority through first impression. So we're gonna build the team. We're gonna do it live, like right here, right now. So let's do it, man. I also have a damage calculator open. We'll be flashing to that as we go. We're gonna build it in the draft frontier. We're gonna add Pokemon, and we're gonna get this team build started here. So the first thing I know that I'm doing here is I'm definitely bringing Mega Diancie. I think a Diancie set just makes a lot of sense. We could bring Diancie. We're gonna bring the Diancieite. We are level 100. I don't have nicknames. I'll figure that out later. We got Clear Body, and then this is a pretty easy Moonblast. We're gonna run Earth Power because Earth Power is gonna allow us to hit that Stack Attacka. And then I'm also probably gonna want Diamond Storm, but I'm debating on whether I need Diamond Storm for anything. I mean, Diamond Storm's pretty good. I think Rock Polish in this matchup is actually phenomenal. A Rock Polish allows me to outspeed the Thundurus and the Salazzle. If I can get a Rock Polish up, that could be really good. I'm thinking we just run 3 attacks with Rock Polish. Because his priority is aside from the Hitmontop, I can generally deal with. So I think all I need is Diamond Storm on this, and then that's really it. I don't think I need anything else. I'm gonna run Diamond Storm, and I think that's really all I need out of this. Now in terms of his EV spread, I need to make sure that I'm outspeeding his Thundurus is gonna be fast to me no matter what. So then the next thing I need to outspeed is probably Zygarde, actually. at 95 base speed, if I'm not mistaken. So we can open up a calc here. We're going to pop open Diancie, and I'm going to move quickly. You're always welcome to slow down the video or whatever you need to do to kind of keep up, I guess. But Zygarde 50%, if it runs a max speed nature, is hitting 312 speed, which you guys can't see. So I can actually run modest nature and outspeed that thing. And we can run modest and hit 313 with 228 speed EVs here. So that's actually pretty solid. And then we're going to run max special attack. I'm going to run a couple quick calcs on a couple things here. If he has a Hitmon top, my Moonblast is one-shotting that. How about my Earth Power on Stakataka? That's going to one-shot that. Standard Zygarde gets one-shot by that. Aromatisse hopefully gets two-shot by Moonblast, which it does, assuming he's not super especially bulky. Sableye, I'm sure, is just going to get one-shot. Sableye, if he's max special defense, can live it, but can't do much back. And then Thundurus, I'm assuming the incarnate form just dies to Diamond Storm, and it does. So that's really all I need. Again, we're looking at our speed tiers right now, and again, I think the only thing I would need to outspeed is a max speed Jolly Zygarde. Everything else, I'm pretty cool, so I'm pretty safe to run Modest. I could run a Mixed Nature, but I don't really feel like I need Diamond Storm that much in this match. Like, Diamond Storm can be used to pick something off, but generally it's Moonblast Earth Power all the way. So I'm gonna run Modest because I don't actually want to sacrifice any of my bulk in this match. So yeah, we're gonna do that, and I'll put a little bit of HP. Always like to have those odd numbers, simply because then you take it's less Stealth Rock switch-ins, a little bit less damage there. So there's our Diancie. You know, we've got max special attack, a good amount of speed. I'm gonna run the Modest Nature again because I just need to outspeed that Zygarde. I'm not really concerned because the Thundurus is gonna be faster than me regardless. So that's a good starting point there. Now the next thing I definitely want to bring is Greninja. I think Greninja in this matchup is phenomenal. There's a couple different ways I can go about this Greninja. We're going to talk about an item here shortly. Again, I do have to run Torrent as its ability, but I really like Dark Pulse. I like U-Turn. I like Ice Beam, and I think I like Hydro Pump. And I think with this coverage, he really doesn't have a super good switch-in. He really doesn't. Like, we're going to outspeed everything on his team, including the Thundurus. I can U-turn around for pivoting. I could really weaken a lot of his Pokemon. I've got the pressure with Dark Pulse. We could do a lot of things. So the only thing I need to outspeed is the Salazzle with this. So Salazzle max speed hits 366. So we're going to want to hit 366 with our speed tier. So we're going to try to hit 367. There you go. So 367. We're going to run max special attack. We're going to lower our attack stat, and then we can run the rest in bulk. And that's pretty straightforward EVs. I know that's done. Now, we have to decide our item for this thing. In terms of an item, I think we can either go one of two ways. We either go Life Orb or Choice Specs, in my opinion. I really like Choice Specs because I feel like his Choice Specs Hydro Pump switch-in is what? I don't see one. I don't see one. A Zygarde? Like, that's not a switch-in. I would venture to guess that if I ran Greninja, and let's obviously have to change this to Torrent here, and we threw Choice Specs on. I mean, Water Z would be actually kind of cool too, because you could just nuke something with that. That might not be a bad play, actually, Water Z. I've been thinking Specs, but if I just run Choice Specs, if I ran Z, I'm not doing that much more than Specs. So I do kind of like that. Or I could run, how much are we doing if I ran like Z Dark Pulse? Not that much, but I'm going to be one-shotting Reuniclus, I would guess, or darn close. Yeah, 89 to 106, so we're going to put in the work. I really like Specs in this match, because we can just U-turn. And I don't see, like I said, I don't really see a Hydro Pump switch-in. So I'm going to run Choice Specs. I'm just going to YOLO. And you'll see in these team builds, I generally kind of just wing it, because, again, it's all meant to be educational for you guys, but also just kind of fun for me. So now the next thing is, I know I'm bringing Victini. We can kind of just throw Victini on the team here. I'll kind of revert back to Victini because there's a few different things we could do with it. We can go with like a special breaking set. We can go with a more physically offensive set. We're going to figure that out. I do really like Fortress in this match because Zygarde is a massive threat when it runs the Dragon Dance variant or just Choice Band Zygarde with 1,000 arrows. So we're going to want something that can kind of deal with that. We also kind of want something that can kind of deal with Stakataka, because Stakataka could be a problem if he Trick Rooms and starts to try to hit really hard there. And Fortress kind of serves as a really good like defensive pivot. So I like just a leftover set. I don't think we need anything crazy. Sturdy looks pretty good. I don't think I need Overcoat. Yeah, he doesn't really have anything that would use anything there. Alright, so I really like Volt Switch because that gives us pivoting options. His ground type is the Zygarde, so like not super concerned there. One thing I think we need to really be mindful of is if we fit, I'm worried about a Subcoil Zygarde, so if we're used to be checking Zygarde, I think we have to run Hidden Power Ice. in my opinion. I feel like you have to run Hidden Power Ice, so that way Zygarde doesn't beat you. And then I just want to run a calc on Fortress going for an Earthquake against a Stakataka, and see how much that's going to do. And that's going to do actually about 50%. So we can run a relaxed nature and lower our speed. We want our speed to be as slow as possible, even if we're not really benefiting from it. And we're going to run a max defense nature there. And we'll actually just run max HP as well. And we can throw a tiny bit of special defense investment there. But I actually kind of like this set. It's a little funky, but it actually should work. I see that my layout gets messed up here. So then I have to decide, do I want rocks in this team or do I want something else? Do I want to be able to rapid spin? Do I want to toxic something? Rocks are somewhat nice against him. They're not like insanely good, but they are nice for a little bit of chip damage. This thing is going to be really important to check the Zygarde and just check some of his defensive Pokemon. So if I run Hidden Power Ice, I can break a substitute. If I run max HP Zygarde, I do break a max HP Zygarde substitute. And if he's very specially defensive, we're still breaking that substitute. I mean, this is max HP, max special defense basically, and we can still break that substitute most of the time. So that's just something we want to be mindful of. Earthquake is there for Stakataka. Again, we want to be mindful of Stakataka, potentially trying to run Rock EMZ against us, which we can take. It's only doing 50 to 60%. So I can take that, and his Gyro Ball does very little to me. So this kind of serves a glue piece to stop Stakataka and Zygarde together, which is very, very massive. Now, he could run Hidden Power Fire on Zygarde. He could do something like that. That's not something I can worry about at this point in the match. I love Volt Switch. I love Hidden Power Ice. I love Earthquake as kind of a blanket check, as I mentioned. And then our last move has to be one of a couple things. It can be Rapid Spin. It could be a Hazard set. The thing I noticed about his team is his only Stealth Rocker is Stakataka, right? Is that true? Yes, I'm not running Rapid Spin. I'm running Stealth Rock, and that's that. I could run Spikes. How do I feel about Spikes? Spikes aren't bad, actually. Spikes are not bad against him, but I'm going to run Rocks because of the Salazzle. And that's the other thing, too. Earthquake could catch that Salazzle off guard and actually get a one-shot there. So I think that Fortress set is fine. It's a little unorthodox, but I don't think it needs to be anything more than what it is. Like, it does what it needs to do. I'm actually going to just move this to special attack. I think it does what it needs to do. It pivots around for me. It checks Stakataka, at least soft checks it. It soft checks Zygarde, and that's what we're looking for out of this Fortress set. So, now moving forward here, I know I'm going to go back to my Victini at some point. We need to kind of figure out what the weaknesses of the team are and what I can patch right now. So, in terms of the rest of his squad, I need to be able to physically check the Thundurus, I would say. I kind of want something that can switch into Thundurus. Seismitoad's not a bad Pokemon in this matchup at all. He has to run HP Grass on stuff to really do anything to me, or any sort of grass move. So I really feel like Seismitoad isn't a bad Pokemon, and I could put Rocks on Seismitoad and kind of cover that. It really shuts down Salazzle really well. It can knock off. It can be a good pivot. It can do a couple different things and just kind of slow some stuff down. It checks Stakataka really well. I really do like Seismitoad, especially from a defensive perspective. So that's something to consider as well. We're going to kind of table Seismitoad right now in the back of our head. And then in terms of our last slot, or I have two more slots, right? Xurkitree is an option, which I don't really like Xurkitree that much. Like, a Z Xurkitree actually probably just wins. Let me think about this for a second. If I ran HP Ice, Thunderbolt, Electric Terrain, or Rain Dance maybe, one of the two, doesn't really matter. I wonder if Electric Terrain Thunder beats just one-shots Thundurus. Because that could be an option too. Like, we could go that route and run Xurkitree. I don't like the Z Hypnosis set. I prefer the other sets. How much am I doing to Sableye if I have Electric Terrain up? Because we probably do a lot. If I Thunderbolt in Electric Terrain, yeah, we're two-shotting him and he does nothing back to us. That's definitely an option. And I feel like Salazzle probably dies too. Yeah, Salazzle will just get wrecked. What does Zygarde take from an Hidden Power Ice? He actually gets one shot. That's not a bad option, because he just doesn't have the answers to it, really. If I run Z Electric Terrain, the question is, can I set up a Z Electric Terrain against him, is the question. And, like, he's got some passive Pokemon, like a Sableye and stuff like that. Like, I don't really care about Burn. I guess the Reuniclus is kind of problematic. And that's one of the reasons why I want Specs. He could definitely, this guy took a lot of kind of traits from some of the teams I built, actually. So I'm very familiar with a lot of his Pokemon. So Z Xurkitree is definitely an option here. If I'm being honest, I like the Z Xurkitree. I'm leaning against Latias. I think Latias is going to be more of a crutch than anything in this matchup, so I'm really leaning against that. I do like the Z Xurkitree though. Electric Terrain, Z Xurkitree. Boosting my speed by 1 stat, giving it Thunderbolts, giving it Hidden Power Ice, and I feel like that could break or clean, and worst case, I just fire off a massive kind of Electrium Z attack as well, which is really solid. So I'm definitely liking that. I know I'm gonna go back to Victini as I mentioned. So we've got a couple options here. And this is, I do like the Xurkitree though, because I just feel like it really breaks through his team, and like Thundurus doesn't do anything to it. And I don't think Thundurus takes an attack. If I calc the Thundurus, yeah, it doesn't take a Thunderbolt. I'm gonna go that route. I haven't really used Xurkitree very much. It's not a Pokemon I'm very familiar with, but we're gonna give it a shot. Beast Boost, and we're gonna run Hidden Power Ice. We're gonna run Thunderbolts. We're gonna run Electric Terrain. And then we have to figure out our last move. I don't really know his move slots. Let's take a look. He gets Calm Mind. I didn't know that. I'm assuming these are all the things that he can get. He gets Tail Glow. Obviously, I could run Tail Glow. Is there anything in here that's really solid? Does he get Flash Cannon or anything? I mean, Tail Glow is probably the best because I don't really need anything else. HP Ice for Zygarde. Thunderbolt for Stakataka. I'm assuming Stakataka isn't taking that hit either. Yeah, in Electric Terrain, it's doing so much to him. And that's Modest. I could run Modest, I think. And that's in Terrain. So yeah, I could do that. Or I could run, I think Tail Glow is probably a really good option because it allows me to set up additionally if I needed to. So we're definitely gonna run Modest. We have to figure out our speed tier here. I think I just need speed to outspeed Salazzle at +1. So Salazzle hits 366. So we need to hit 366. So 366 times 0.67. We need to hit 245. So 246. So if we hit that speed stat, we can actually run some bulk. Max special attack here. If it's gonna work. Weird buttons. Max special attack. Run a little bit of bulk there. And that gives me a 246 speed. So 246 times 1.5. And that puts us at 369, which is gonna allow us to outspeed the Thundurus, the Salazzle, everything. It outspeeds everything on his team. And we're gonna outspeed the slow stuff too. Like, we don't have to worry about that. So I like this set. I think this set is top tier for Xurkitree. I have to just do that. Okay. We know we're gonna bring back Victini here shortly. I'm liking a Scarf Victini in this matchup, but we'll talk about that shortly. Just because I don't have anything to outspeed +1 Zygarde, which is something that you have to really be mindful of. But we'll kind of address that in a second. In terms of our last slot, let's talk about kind of the team here. We'll figure out the last slot and then we'll go back to Victini because I've used Victini so many times. I'm really experienced with it. I don't like Smeargle in this matchup. I just think with Sableye it makes it too tricky, and he's got hazard removal with him on top of Thundurus. I don't really like Amoonguss. I mean, it's kind of an okay mon, but I don't necessarily like it because of Salazzle. Doesn't really do much to Thundurus. Reuniclus kind of runs through it. Stakataka kind of can set up on it in certain ways, and Zygarde kind of set up on it, so we're gonna kind of stay away from that. I mentioned Latias. I don't really like Braviary in this match at all. I really feel like Seismitoad is that glue piece for so many reasons. I really like Seismitoad in this match, actually. So yeah, we're gonna go that route. This may result in me tweaking my Fortress set though. So Seismitoad in this matchup is gonna want to run Earth Power for sure. It's gonna want to run some sort of ice move. So it gets Ice Punch and Icy Wind. I like Icy Wind because I think slowing down some of his threats could actually be really good. I like Knockoff for sure. And we can decide if we want to run rocks on this and then switch a move up on Fortress or whatever. Again, his only rock setter is the Stakataka, so I don't really have to worry about hazards for him. And we can try to run something you know, kind of crafty on this thing. A Sludge Bomb or a Toxic could be really good. I like Toxic. Toxic is always just a really good move to wear down things. We're gonna run max HP. I don't really need any speed. There's nothing on this team that really requires any speed. The Icy Wind is super nice though to slow down the Thundurus. I don't have Scald. Do I need Scald? I've got Earth Power, Icy Wind, Earth Power for Salazzle. I'm gonna Earth Power pretty much everything. Knockoff's nice. I can knock off the Reuniclus. I don't really feel like I need Scald for anything in particular. I can really hit everything else with that. And then I think we run Rindo, just because as much as I don't want to run Rindo, I just feel like Rindo makes a lot of sense in this one. I think we could run Poison Touch too. Like, what's his water attacks? I don't really need Water Absorb. I like Poison Touch. Being able to poison something would be nice. And really, Golisopod, I'm not considering that to be that big of a threat at this point. So I'm going to run that. And then I'm leaning towards a more like kind of mixed defensive set on this. I want to be able to do some damage, but I also want to be able to take some grass moves, because the Salazzle most certainly is going to have HP grass. So let's just make sure that we're doing the proper damage we need to do. So Salazzle is going to get one shot by an Earthquake or an Earth Power anyway, so that doesn't really matter. When we look at something like Thunderous, excuse me, if I were to run Icy Wind, we're not doing a ton to him. He's got Focus Blast. Let's just see what a Grass Knot's doing to me. If I have the Rindo, though, he's really not doing much. So I can run a Bold Nature on this thing, because we're definitely more on the special side. We'll lower our attack stat a little bit. And I really don't need... maybe I'll just make sure I can two-shot a Zygarde with Icy Wind. Actually, we can't do that, really. We're pretty weak. How about an Ice Punch? I like Icy Wind, though, quite a bit. Ice Punch does way more. Coil could be annoying, though. Gotta always be mindful of that. We're taking good damage here, though. If he's +1 to see two-shot us, no. I kind of like this, actually. I kind of like this set 228, actually, on the physical defense, because that allows us to take 2 Banded Zygarde 1000 arrows if I need it. Not that I really need it, but also, again, serves a really good response to a couple different things. Like, we can now check Zygarde, Stack Attacka incredibly well with Fortress plus Seismitoad. We can deal with the Salazzle. It's annoying. Like, Salazzle's definitely one of the scarier members of the team. I'm not gonna lie. But Seismitoad switches into both of his attacks and takes Grass Knot and allows us to do pretty well against that. Let me just take a look at Salazzle here. Yeah, we take a hit and a Grass Knot. We can take 1 hit plus... Oh, he's got Hidden Power Grass. I'm sorry. Which is even better. So we can take a Fire Blast, a Sludge Wave, and a Grass Knot because of our Rindo Berry. So we're going to keep that in mind. I love the knockoff. I love the Poison Touch. All this looks really good to me. So now the last thing we need to figure out, I think, for this team is just Victini. We need to decide how I want to approach this Victini set. Do I want to run a physically offensive breaking Victini where I run Choice Band and I just V-create into things and hope things die? That's kind of what I like in terms of this matchup. Because realistically, like, unless he's running Z Salazzle, he's not doing a ton of... Like, my Salazzle week is pretty big right now, but I have Greninja. I have a Diancie, which can take a Sludge Wave. That's really the biggest thing. Victini with a Choice Band, though, just obliterates. Again, my concern, though, is that Zygarde. So what is a Choice Banded Victini doing to Zygarde? Let's see. We're doing about 50%, which is a pretty big dent. I also like the Choice Scarf set for Victini. How much am I doing to a Sableye? I'm really, like, when I look at this matchup, I really see an opening for just Banded V-Create, because he just does not have proper switch-ins for Banded V-Create plus, you know, plus Specs Greninja. Those two Pokemon just absolutely run through his team. He's just not going to have the defense for it. And all I have to do is find the opening to get up either a Rock Polish from Diancie or a Electrotrain from Xurkitree, and those two Pokemon can win. So I'm gonna actually rock the Choice Band. Again, I'm not saying it's the best set here. I could easily run a specially offensive set with Speed and with Glaciate, Life Orb maybe, Blue Flare, Focus Blast, U-Turn, some sorts of pivots. But I'm gonna just go all out. We just need V-Create, U-Turn. I don't even think I need anything else. I could just run V-Create, U-Turn. I mean, he can run Hitmone Top as a way to stop me. But again, Hitmone Top is another one of those mons where, like, he's gonna come in, intimidate me, and then he just gets blown back, right? Like, it's not like he's gonna want to switch in. So V-Create, U-Turn, we'll run Trick because a lot of his Pokemon just kind of have that going for them. And I almost like Final Gambit in a way. Let's make sure Stack Attacka doesn't just set up on us. I don't think it does. Nah, it's 2-shot by V-Create as well. So that's pretty good. Salazzle doesn't want to switch in. I don't think Reuniclus wants to switch in. Nah. And that's Jolly. I might run Adamant, but we'll see. Just trying to see if there's anything else. I'm just trying to make sure that I have enough ways to deal with Zygarde, but I feel like between Seismitoad and Fortress, I can deal with the Zygarde because I can Icy Wind. I have Icy Wind, I have HP Ice. Like, I think I can deal with the Zygarde. I do. And if I get swept by Zygarde, then we'll come back to this moment right here where I said I can deal with Zygarde and I can't. I mean, Thundurus isn't doing much to me. Like, I just feel like, honestly, I feel like we just run Adamant, max attack, max HP, and final Gambit, and just run through stuff. To be honest, like, what do I even need speed for? Silvally and Zygarde? Like, I don't care about that. I'm not staying in on Zygarde anyway, and my opponent is probably gonna think that I'm digging that. I'm gonna run max HP. Because the things, let's talk about this for a second. The things that Victini brings in, Greninja and Diancie wreck, and the things that Greninja brings in, Victini wrecks. I'm just gonna go for it because, yeah, that's what we're gonna do. We're just gonna, we're gonna do that. I actually need to run some speed calcs though, so let's talk about that for a second. So I need to run a little bit of speed calcs here. The only thing I need to make sure I can do is, I wanna look at Silvally. I want to check a non-speed invested Silvally here, which is 226. So if I'm 299 times 0.67, or hitting 200, so he's gonna outspeed me no matter what after a V-create, but he's getting one shot, so I'm not really that concerned. I'm just trying to make sure that I don't need speed on anything. We could take a little bit of HP and just put a little bit of speed. But I really like this like super hyper offensive Victini. I don't really feel like I need to do anything else. And I'm actually curious, does a Salazzle live a Banded Adamant V-create? No, it doesn't, because it's the best attack in the game, and I love it. Yeah, that's our team, guys. I think we're good. We're gonna run. Here, let's recap the team here. Hopefully everything's good. So I've got Diancie, Mega Diancie with Clear Body. I've got max special attack. We've got speed for the Zygarde, Moonblast, Earth Power, Rock Polish, Diamond Storm. If I can get up a Rock Polish, I think we just win the game if things are weakened. Choice Specs Greninja with U-Turn, Dark Pulse, Ice Beam, Hydro Pump. This is a way to kind of make sure that Reuniclus doesn't beat me in the sense that I can just hit him really hard with a Dark Pulse. But I also pressure his team pretty hardcore. He's going to have to go into Aromatisse. He doesn't have a Hydro Pump switch in really. Victini with the ban just to further break things, which I really like. V-Create, U-Turn, Trick, Final Gambit. Very solid, just hits really, really hard. We've got the Fortress here with Volt Switch, Hidden Power Ice, Earthquake, and Stealth Rock. Physically defensive, meant to take on the Zygarde and Stack Attacka, but also can pivot around and kind of cause that Salazzle some problems. You know, part of the thing about this team is things like Sableye are so problematic, so I have 3 monstrous Pokemon to try to break through that. Xurkitree is running Electrium Z with Tail Glow. This allows me to set up the electric terrain, get a speed boost, and then promptly click Thunderbolt and HP Ice, which is going to really hurt his team, especially if I can set up on something like an Aromatisse or Hitmontop or something a little bit on the weaker side, maybe even Thundurus, which generally doesn't do much to Xurkitree. He can't taunt me because I can Electric Z through that, so there's some options there. And then you can't see it because it gets cut off, but it's Seismitoad here, which is Rindo Berry to reduce the grass type effectiveness, Poison Touch because I'm not worried about Water Absorb in this matchup, and I've got Earth Power, Icy Wind, Knockoff, and Toxic, physically defensive. So that's the team we're going to be rocking here for our first match of aDrive Army Battle League. I hope you guys enjoyed this team builder and this very brief kind of rundown. Again, I go very quickly through these team builds. I don't like stress about them. We're just here to have fun and hopefully pick up some W's. So I hope you guys enjoyed it, and let's jump into the battle. Alright guys, we are connected here with Duke Fan, and he brought a pretty interesting team. He brought the Golisopod, he brought the Aromatisse, Reuniclus, he brought Thundurus, Silvally, we don't know what type that is, and Zygarde are his team. I really like Diancie in this match. The Golisopod could be a bit annoying. Didn't really expect that, to be honest, but that's not a huge deal. I think I could lead with Greninja, but I could see like a Golisopod lead with first impression. I'm gonna run just a quick calc here on Golisopod versus a banded Victini. I could actually knock him out with Bolt Strike, and that's if he's like offensive, and he can't one-shot me with Aqua Jet. So we do have an option there if I wanted to lead with Victini, which I think is a very good lead against him. It breaks his team quite well. Yeah, the only thing, like I said, that I'm concerned about would be like the Golisopod, but I could switch around from that. I don't want to lead Genji because I do feel like there's a good chance that he leads first impression Golisopod. So I'm just going to lead Victini here because I just emergency exit him anyway. So let's do that. Let's just kick things off with Victini and see what he's going to lead. He's going to lead Thundurus. I'm okay with this. If he wants to knock off, that's fine. I'm just going to V-create because realistically, like I said, there's not a ton that he can switch into. So we're just going to click V-create and hopefully just knock something out here. He could go for a knockoff, get rid of our choice band, but don't forget, I am max HP Victini. So we're going to be tanking some hits, and his best switch in right now is that Zygarde. He has like no switch ins unless he's running like HP Water Silvally, which I don't really think makes a lot of sense. Maybe HP Rock Silvally could be a thing. I mean, we have to kind of just play around that, but Just Choice Band and V-Create, dude, it just kills something. So if he goes around Matisse, if he goes anything, he's just gonna quick U-turn out here. He's gonna see that I'm bulky if he's running Calcs. That's fine. We get a little intel on his Thundurus, knowing that it's a bulky Thundurus. We'll see if that's gonna bring him into his Zygarde again. I really like my my Fortress in this match, being able to kind of Volt Switch around. The sooner I find out that Silvally, that's gonna be really clutch. But yeah, this banded Victini is just so good against him, and it's definitely a top tier set. Like, with Victini, it has such a wide move pool. It's so easy to get caught up in like the special sets and things like that. But what I found over the years is with Victini, like if all else fails, you just click Banded V-Create. So let's find out if he's a bulky Zygarde. That's about what I expected. So he's definitely more on the kind of offensive. So we'll just go right into little Walnut here. Easy play for me. I can kind of find out what set he is, whether he's a Dragon Dance set or whether he's kind of a setup like Coil, Sub-Coil, or whatever he is. And we can bring our Victini back out for later in this season, in the match. But that's not a bad kind of start for us. I get a big chunk off on the Zygarde, and Victini's at a great amount of health right now. And he, you know, now that this thing is weakened, he doesn't really have another way to switch into it. So this is definitely offensive Zygarde though. He's got he's probably got to be, I don't know if he's Adamant or Jolly, but again, our Fortress is really good here. He could be a special set. He could have Hidden Power Fire, like I mentioned. He didn't bring Salazzle, so that really helps out. That means I can be a little bit more expendable about my Seismitoad. So let's see what he's going to go for here. He just goes straight for 1,000 arrows. That does absolutely nothing to me. I'm pretty confident that I can take a hit from this thing. So I can run HP Ice, or I can just Volt Switch and try to get momentum here. I'm going to just run a quick calc on Fortress versus Zygarde. And if he was running Hidden Power Ice or Hidden Power Fire by any chance, it's really not doing that much to me. So I have a couple options. I could just Volt Switch. I really don't think he stays in here, if I'm being honest. I do like Stealth Rock as well. Stealth Rock's kind of a win-win for me. I lose a little bit of momentum, but I'm not super concerned. Let's go for Stealth Rock. Because Stealth Rock's going to hit the... it's going to actually make it so I beat the Zygarde next time when it switches in. And his switch in here, if I had to guess... I have no idea, actually. I have no idea. But I don't see him staying in right now. And if he does, I can revenge kill him. He's definitely not banded, though. He's the setup set. So he's probably 1,000 arrows, extreme speed, Dragon Dance. I doubt he has HP Fire on this thing. I really do. I really doubt it. And we didn't see an item either. So he actually could be a Z move. But I don't think Zygarde gets Flamethrower. I actually don't know. That's something I didn't really check, but I'm not anticipating that play right now. I mean, I could switch and kind of make a prediction here. I could go Seismitoad if I wanted to try to catch something. I kind of just like going for rocks right now, though. I'm just going to go for rocks. He's going to go right into Thundurus. That's fine. So Volt Switch would have been a really good play against him. I didn't go for that. That's fine. I'll go right into Hanzo here because realistically, like, what is this Thundurus going to do? He could either defog, he could U-turn. He may have Hidden Power Fire or Thunderbolt or something like that, but him switching there tells me that the Zygarde cannot touch my Fortress, and this would have been a really good match to bring spikes, because I'll probably have multiple opportunities to set up those spikes, but let's see what he's going to do here. He's going to just go for a T-Ball, and we get Hanzo in. Nice immunity there. Hanzo's in a really good spot to just click Knockoff against something. I can remove an item on something. I could Toxic something. Either of those options are really nice. I like the play of Knockoff, though. What was the Z-Crystal users again? It was... So this is not a Z-Crystal user. There's only Z user in this match would be the Silvally. So he could go Silvally here and try to rock like a some sort of move there. I just like Knockoff though. I think just getting rid of an item, a potential poison on something is really nice. That is going to be the Silvally. It is normal, so that tells me he's probably Z Parting Shot, which is something worth noting. You know, if he wants to go for... I'm just going to go for a Toxic. I think he's just going to Parting Shot here. And realistically, like, he doesn't have a good switch in to... Like, everything gets Toxic, and I'm just going to whittle down his team with the, you know, the Toxic here. So, whatever, anything on his team gets Toxic at this point. He's going for the defogs. He just wants to get rid of those hazards. That's kind of understandable. I get a nice Toxic off on him, which is beautiful. And I'm in a situation where I can proceed to Icy Wind or whatever I want. He's faster, so whatever he goes into is going to come in, and it's going to kind of take some damage there. I know two of his moves, right? Parting Shot and Defog. That's the intel I have. Does he have Energy Ball? I have no idea. Does he have Flamethrower? Does he have Tri-Attack? I have no clue. I'm okay burning my berry at this point. I'm really not super concerned. I think he's just going to Parting Shot, though, if I had to guess. Or go for a Grass-type move, one of the two. I'll just go for a Knockoff, I think, because I think he Parting Shots out. Or I go Walnut and just see if the Parting Shot happens. And kind of switch around a little bit. I'm going to just go for a Knockoff. Do I want to Knockoff? I think I want to knock off. Because I don't really need Hanzo. I'm just going to knock off. He's going to parting shot, so I'm going to get rid of an item on something. That thing's definitely Dark Z, though. He's definitely Dark Z. But he's also poison, and he's going to be getting whittled down now. And you can see that we kind of get a little intel there. But I'm going to knock off an item on something. And we know his Z Crystal is in the hands of that Silvally. So that's actually really clutch. Knocking off like the Aromatisse's item or something like that could be really good. And, you know, this gives me an opportunity to go right into my Victini and click V-Create again. So, if he goes Aromatisse. If he goes, he's not going to go Gleespot. He's going to go right into Reuniclus, so that's fine by me. I'm going to get rid of whatever item he had, which was a Life Orb, which tells me that he's a Trick Room Life Orb set. So he is definitely going to be going for Trick Room. But that's okay. I'm going to go right into my Victini. My Victini is very, very offensive. I mean, bulky, I mean. So if he does go for a Trick Room, it's fine because then I get to V-Create and knock him out. There's a Trick Room. I know I can live a Shadow Ball, so we're just going to V-Create. And the beauty of this is not only do I get a V-Create off right now, but assuming I live this Shadow Ball without a problem, he doesn't have his Life Orb. We can run a quick calc, but I'm not super concerned right now because I'm a max HP Victini against a Reuniclus, which is an offensive Trick Room set without a Life Orb. His Shadow Ball is only doing about half to me, so we're just going to V-Create. That's the nice part about running this very, very kind of bulky Victini. I don't have to stress about any of that stuff. And again, V-Create is going to lower our speed, so not only are we going to hit this thing and knock out this Reuniclus or whatever switches in, we're also going to be -1 speed, which is going to allow us to actually be faster than most of his team under Trick Room. So really good situation for my Victini to be in here. And again, without the Life Orb on that Reuniclus, he's not able to really do a ton to me. With his Shadow Ball, he does maybe 40-50%. Trick Room Reuniclus is, in this matchup, most certainly running Psychic or Psyshock, Shadow Ball, and Focus Blast, if I had to guess. Although he may have foregone one of those coverage moves for something like Energy Ball or whatever it might have been. But that would be what I would run. That's the standard kind of Trick Room, Life Orb, offensive Reuniclus. And that's the nice thing. Like I said, my opponent has a lot of Pokemon that I've used extensively, so I'm able to really get a good understanding of kind of what I think he's going to be bringing in this matchup and what the set is. So that knockoff play there was massive because if I didn't knock off the Life Orb, the Reuniclus puts in a lot more work against me. He just goes for a Psychic, so maybe he just doesn't have Shadow Ball, but we're getting a nice KO there, and Victini actually picks up the first KO of the season. We get rid of the Reuniclus, which is an absolute massive threat, but we're going to get rid of that, and that's going to be pretty sweet for us. So a really good start in this match. We got rid of one of the biggest threats, and that now allows, I mean, realistically, like, I just removed his Trick Room threat. Aromatisse could have Trick Room as well, but here comes Golisopod. Now, I'm pretty slow. I'm 158. He's going to be probably a little bit faster than me. I don't have any way to kind of deal with hazards here. Hanzo's a really good switch in just to get rid of this thing's item. I could also just V-Create, but I realistically think there's a liquidation coming my way. So I think I'm just going to go straight into my Hanzo here and just knock off this thing's item. He's going to go for a knockoff himself. He gets rid of our Rindo Berry, which I'm okay with. And I could just either go for a knockoff or a Toxic. I could see him go Silvally here, but I'm just going to go for a knockoff because getting rid of this thing's item would be pretty nice, and I'm not like super concerned about this thing at this point in the match because, again, his switch-ins to Victini don't exist at this point. Like, he does not have a switch into a Victini, especially if I can get Rock's backup. But Hanzo here is, you know, kind of hopefully going to slow down the Thundurus, but I'm not like that concerned about it. If it's Scarf Thundurus, a little bit annoying, but, you know, if I can get Xurkitree set up with an Electric Terrain, which is very doable in this matchup, in my opinion, then we're going to be in a tremendous situation. Xurkitree sets up on the Aromatisse, like, it's very good. It's very, very good. And HP Ice beats the Zygarde. Like, there's a lot of cool pieces there. So he just goes right into Silvally again. Just going to keep taking toxic damage, so I'm, like, totally fine with this situation. It's all good with me. If he parting shots again, I can just knock off again. So, like, I'm okay with this situation. Like, I'm just going to keep knocking off. Like, I don't really see what you're going to do to me. So I'm going to just knock off again. It's Trick Room, so he's actually got the Grass Pledge, so good plays on his part. He is going to be able to bring me down pretty low, but I'm not super concerned. Again, I can just knock off, and then I can proceed to get my Greninja in, and U-turn. I can actually get my Diancie in and get the Mega Evolution off, which is pretty cool, and I really like that option. My switches to Thundurus are actually limited, though. I will say that. That's a little scary. Because my switch-ins are a little bit limited, I'm leaning towards swapping out here, but I don't really have a good swap. Maybe Walnut. Because if he is scarfed for some reason, which I guess I could see him being scarfed, I just want to make sure I don't lose to Scarf Thundurus. But actually, does Diancie just win this game at this point? If it sets up a Rock Polish, it might. Yeah, I think if Diancie sets up a Rock Polish, it wins. So I just have to find that opportunity. And I think we can do that too. But he's almost certainly got a Steel move on this thing. I'm going to go for the knockoff and just let him knock me out. That's fine. I'll get my Diancie in now, and I want to see... I mean, I can take a Grass Pledge, get my Rock Polish up, and I think we win. Yeah? I mean, let's take a look. So he did 69% to my Seismitoad, which is let's see here, Silvally. Okay, so he did 69% to me with Grass Pledge, which is about what I expect from a non-invested Silvally. If he was, let's say, Bashful. Yeah, so he's like a middle ground. If I have a Diancie out here, Mega Diancie, he goes for, he's only going to do about 50% to me. And then what does Golisopod do with, I don't actually KO Golisopod though. So maybe that's not the play yet. I mean, I can go Diancie here and force the Flash Can. I can also go Genji and just U-turn. Kind of force that and go right into... That might not be a bad play. I can get rocks back up. Let's go to Genji, and we're going to just go for U-turn. I'm just going to go for U-turn. I don't want to get beat by a Scarf Thundurus or an Agility Thundurus. That's the biggest concern right now. So we'll just go for U-turn, get rid of this thing. I probably should have scouted the Grass Pledge a little bit better there. I didn't think he had it since he switched out the first time around, but... U-turn is just a really good move here. I kill the Silvally, I get momentum into whatever I want. I can go Fortress if I want. I can go Xurkitree and kind of bait the Zygarde out, which is probably what I do. I probably just bait the Zygarde out with Xurkitree. And then I go Fortress, and then I get rocks up. That's probably what I do. Golisopod's pretty scary because of first impression. I wonder if he would save this thing, go Golisopod right now. But then at that point, I just go Victini, and again, I'm just, yeah, he's going to actually go Golisopod, so a little surprise there. I get that off. But I think I did calc that Victini is going to one-shot this thing, or pretty darn close. Like, he has to switch out, though, that's the thing. So I can just go Victini here, and we can just go for a massive hit. Or I go Socket, I set up the Electric Terrain, and hope that we win at that point, but he's going to first impression Socket. Victini doesn't care about the first impression. So I'm thinking Victini and just going for either a U-turn or a V-create is my best play, but I think he just sacks off, I think he sacks off Silvally at that point if I make that play. So how do I stop the Silvally from coming back in for free? I mean, Socket's just so good here. Because I don't, let me see here. It is a Xurkitree. I do have some bulk. First impression, if he's banded, does knock me out. I don't want to really risk that. I think I just go Victini here and just click V-create. And it's probably going to get the KO on the Silvally, and then he's going to be able to switch into something else. But I think that that's my play. So I'm just going to go Victini here, and I'm just going to go for a V-create. Because if he first impressions, he'll hit me pretty hard. But then he gets knocked out, or at least emergency exited out. I could also go Fortress, obviously, but... I don't really want to do that. Actually, Fortress would have been a pretty good play, but we're just going to V-create. It's fine. If I'm him, I just sack Silvally. Unless he really wants to try to get a Z parting shot off on this thing, but I should be able to get rocks up later. There's the first impression. It does a lot. I think that might be banded, but we're going to hit that V-create and actually just straight up knock him out. So we got rid of the Golisopod. And this really brings in... I would assume it brings in Zygarde. I would assume it brings in Zygarde. I'm not quite sure. I just have to play around that Thundurus. That's like the biggest thing I'm concerned about right now. But Hydro Pump from Greninja puts in a lot of work. If he's not Scarf Thundurus, then I don't care. Here comes the Thundurus. So I don't know what this thing is yet. I feel like he's just going to U-turn though. I think I just let Victini go down. I don't really feel like I need it. I'm just going to V-create. On the off chance that he tries to set up. He's going to just U-turn. He does knock me out. But I keep him from getting any momentum, which is really nice. So Because if I set up Rock Polish against, like if he goes Aromatisse and I Rock Polish on it, we're in really good shape. If I go Zerk and Z Electric Terrain, here comes the Aromatisse, okay. So Xurkitree comes in, it clicks Z Electric Terrain, and then it just bodies things, right? In Electric Terrain against Aromatisse. Like he's gonna Moonblast me, but that's an offensive Aromatisse. I don't think he's two-shotting me. And I can do a lot with Thunderbolt. That's a max HP set. He would probably live it though. Or I go Diancie and I Moonblast. I guess that's the question, does Diancie do more? Like does Mega Diancie do more to him? Moonblast is like a two-shot. I think at this point, this is actually a really close game. It's a matter of how I think I should try to win this game. Because I do really think that Thundurus could be like Scarfed or something. I'm gonna go Xurkitree. And I'm gonna set up the Z Electric Terrain. So my thought process here is I really just need to weaken this thing, get up a Rock Polish, and then I think we win with Diancie. So I just need to weaken this thing. So we're gonna Z Electric Terrain. That gives me a speed boost, allows me to outspeed Zygarde, and then we can knock that thing out. So we beat Savali. If he switches into Savali here, that's fine too. Zerk's looking good right now though. He's obviously got to be mindful of like Z Hypnosis. He could Trick Room too. Like if he Trick Rooms, that would be kind of annoying. But I'm just gonna go for the Z Electric Terrain. That's gonna boost my speed. He is gonna go for the Trick Room, so not surprising there. But I could just go for. I'm gonna go for Hidden Power first, just in case he goes Zygarde, predicting the other attack. Because I need a Hidden Power and Thunderbolt to beat this thing. So Trick Room was a good play on his part. Well, I want HP Ice. Because the HP Ice allows me to beat the Zygarde if it comes in. And I think I could take 2 Moonblasts. If not, we'll have to switch out. This thing's actually like a problem, I'm not gonna lie. Maybe I should Thunderbolt. He's gonna Wish, so I get my Hidden Power off. What are you gonna Wish into though? You gonna Wish into Zygarde? That's kind of wild. Do I just keep Hidden Powering just in case? Yeah, I'm just gonna Hidden Power again. He's gonna Moonblast. It doesn't even do half to me. He's gonna get his health back. He gets a special attack drop though, which really stinks. He's gonna get his health back. I'm just Hidden Powering here. I'm gonna Thunderbolt this time though. He's gonna Wish again. I need to make sure this Trick Room doesn't like put him in a situation where I don't really care if Zygarde gets to. I'm gonna Thunderbolt again. He's gonna Moonblast. No special attack drop though. Okay, good. All right, he gets his Wish back, but that's okay. I'm in a situation where I'm just gonna Thunderbolt again, I think. He could Trick Room though. If he Trick Rooms, what do I do? How do I stop this from being really bad for me? This isn't a good situation. I don't like this at all. That special attack drop was so massive because it allowed him to live those hits. It's really annoying. I can't stop the Trick Room. I'm just gonna Thunderbolt. Thunderbolt. He can't get 2. Oh my god, why did that do so little? Oh, terrain ended. Okay, that's fine. All right, Diancie comes in here. I can also just Hydro Pump, I think, with Greninja. Let's see here. Choice specs. I think I just Hydro Pump with Greninja. 60 to 72. Yeah, that's good damage. We're gonna Hydro Pump. If I hit this, we're in good shape. Because if he is Scarfed Thundurus, it's fine. I just set up on him. He goes for like T-Bolt. I just set up with Diancie. If he's not Scarfed, I one-shot him with Hydro Pump. So this is okay. I just gotta hit this Hydro Pump, and I think we're okay. But good plays, like the multiple Trick Room Pokemon were definitely really good. I haven't played this perfectly. Like, I should have probably Tail Glowed with Zerk. I wasted so much time with that Trick Room. That Trick Room like really messed me up. And I knew that the Trick Room was a possibility. He has the Reuniclus too, but that's okay. So we're just gonna Hydro Pump here. As long as we hit this, it should knock out the Aromatisse. If he wants to switch out, that's fine too. Like really, the biggest thing I'm concerned about is like Scarfed Thundurus, but as long as Scarfed Thundurus doesn't, like we're okay. It should be okay. If he's not Scarfed Thundurus, I just knock him out with Diamond Storm anyway. So I don't even really have to set up, I don't think. Oh, no, I do. But I'll find out if he's Scarfed if he outspeeds Greninja. That's the idea, so we just have to hit this Hydro Pump. We knock him out here. This Aromatisse goes down, and then I'm in a situation where Greninja cleans, but he's just gonna go Savali and sack it off. So that tells me that the Thundurus has got to be Scarfed, dude, at this point. I feel like it's got to be. Here comes Thundurus. This thing has got to be Scarfed. So I need to find out if it's Scarfed or not. So I think my play here is actually Hydro Pump. Find out if he's Scarfed. He's got to be Scarfed, dude. He's got to be Scarfed. How much is Diancie taking from a Thundurus? I need to get a Diancie against Aromatisse. Should actually be in good shape there. Thundurus. Regular Thundurus going for a T-Bolt against Diamond Storm does kill him. Greninja. Greninja dies to Thunderbolt. But I'll know he's Scarfed. Okay, I'm just gonna Hydro Pump. It's fine if he's Scarfed or not. I just wanna know if he's Scarfed. That's the biggest thing right now. He is Scarfed. Okay. He gets a crit, doesn't matter. Okay, we one move set, go Diancie. We click Mega Evolution and we Rock Polish. And then the only thing is he can actually, dude, this is tricky. This is so tricky, dude. He can still beat me, man. He can still beat me. If he goes Aromatisse right now and Trick Room, he's gonna go Zygarde. That actually works out. I get to Rock Polish. Okay, I get to Moonblast and knock this thing out, which is good. The problem is he's gonna be able to Trick Room, and it's gonna be really close actually, because he'll be able to Trick Room with the Aromatisse. Here comes the Aromatisse. I have to Moonblast it. If he gets a Trick Room off, we may have to kind of play around that. There's the Trick Room. Okay. This is fine. I can Moonblast. He's gonna have to lock into. I can just Diamond Storm. No, I'm gonna Moonblast. He can Moonblast me. I don't care if he Moonblasts me right now. I don't want to go Walnut. I don't really have coverage for it. I have to Moonblast. This is really interesting. He's got to have Flash Cannon on the Thundurus. He's gonna Moonblast here, I'm sure. Ooh, this is a close game, man. Props to my opponent. Regardless of the outcome, this is a really close game. My Fortress is not really in a good spot to beat that Thundurus. It's really not. So that's a thing. It's definitely a thing. So I have to beat the Thundurus under Trick Room. So the ideal situation is I knock him out here. I go Fortress. Okay, so I knock him out. There's 3 turns of Trick Room left. He's gonna switch. I think that was kind of maybe a mistake. I don't know. I should have Diamond Stormed. Alright, I have to go Walnut because he has to Flash Cannon. Ooh, 50-50, bro. Does he Flash Cannon? If he Flash Cannons, oof. That's tricky. That's tricky. How much does Fortress take? He's really weak. I could take a Thunderbolt. But if he Flash Cannons here, Fortress is fine if he Flash Cannons. He has to Flash Cannon, I think. I'm gonna go Fortress. Well, let's think about this. Yeah, because I don't know if I could beat the Aromatisse, so I'm gonna go Fortress. This is such a 50-50, dude. Because he's gonna be fast to me right now. He has to Flash Cannon, in my opinion. And I know that. Fortress comes in though, and then Fortress can't beat Aromatisse, which he doesn't know because I don't have Gyro Ball, so I know this, he doesn't. If he T-Bolts here though, actually, if he T-Bolts, it's not the end of the world. It's not the end of the world if he T-Bolts. He actually goes Aromatisse, so pretty good play there on his part. That's fine with me though. I'm just going to Volt Switch now. Because again, I'm not like concerned about, actually I could Stealth Rock and just finish this Thundurus off. That's it. Perfect. He's got Hidden Power, it doesn't matter though. I just set up rocks, which means that the Thundurus dies. So he can knock me out, it doesn't matter, I don't really care. Because he knocks me out here, and Diamond comes in and just knocks him out. So we're going to, I mean, I think I just switched into Diamond, really, to put the pressure on him so he doesn't Wish Protect against me. It's probably the best play. Or do I just let him knock me out? I got Earthquake. I just don't want him to Wish. What do you think about this? It's got Trick Room, Hidden Power, Wish, Moonblast. He doesn't have Protect. I just want to make sure I don't lose to Wish and spam there. I want him to knock me out here. I'm gonna Volt Switch just in case. Yeah, I'm just gonna Volt Switch. Because realistically, as soon as Diancie comes back in, I just click Moonblast over and over again, and I think I'm good. Yeah, that was close. I got rocks up though, so Thundurus dies on entry, so now it's just a matter of beating this Vermites. He has to Wish, I think. I get very little off on him. We'll go Diancie here. I know his full moveset now. He goes for Wish, so now we're in a situation where he's just gonna Wish stall. I'm just gonna Moonblast over and over again though, and that's gonna be game. So GG's to my opponent, man. That's gonna be game. We're gonna pick up a nice W there. I'll send this to the mod squad. We're gonna pick up our first win. Very tough, man, having to deal with Trick Room there at the end. My opponent played really well. I don't think I necessarily played super well, but it worked out in our favor. I think I misplayed that Xurkitree pretty hardcore, but props to my opponent for the match. Thank you, Duke Fan, for the battle, and I'll see you guys next week for the aDrive Army Battle League. If there's any way you want me to improve these battles, let me know in the comment section below. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.